There's a conversation that happens in Matthew chapter 18, which is, I want to dive into a story there. Matthew 18 and verse 21 is where we'll start. So one of the disciples, a guy named Peter, comes up to Jesus and he says, Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother who sins against me? Like this person that does me wrong, how many times? And then Peter says this to Jesus, up to 7 times, Jesus? And when Peter says, should I forgive him 7 times? Peter's thinking that he's going way beyond what is required. And he actually is, because in Jewish law at that time, the Jewish law said that if somebody wronged you, that you would forgive them 3 times, but not 4. So if somebody came to you a 4th time, it was like, hey, I did you wrong. Would you forgive me? You can be like, nope, I am no longer forgiving you. Some of us are like, I'd like that to be the case today. And so Peter says to Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brothers? I know the law says 4, but I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go 7, Jesus. And Jesus says, yeah, we're not going to do that. Verse 22 says this, Jesus answered, I tell you, don't do 7 times, but 77 times. Or some translations say 70 times 7. And Jesus wasn't actually putting a number on there. What Jesus was saying is that your mercy should be endless, that you shouldn't count it, that your mercy should actually be extravagant. And the reason that our mercy is extravagant, Jesus reveals to us as he goes on and tells a story. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Matthew 18, verse 23. Jesus says, therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king. Now, Jesus is going to tell us a story. He's going to tell us a parable. He's like a king who wanted to settle an account with his servants. As he began the settlement, a man who owed him 10,000 bags of gold was brought to him. Since the man was not able to pay, the master ordered that he and his wife and his children, all that he had, be sold to repay the debt. At this, the servant fell on his knees before him. Be patient with me, he begged, and I'll pay back everything. The servant's master took pity on him and canceled the debt and let him go, showed him mercy, let him go. But when the servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him only 100 silver coins. He grabbed him and began to choke him. Pay back what you owe me, he demanded. You get it? It's this servant who was just shown mercy. Now he's not showing mercy. This fellow servant fell to his knees and begged him, please be patient with me. I'll pay you back. But he refused. Instead, he went off. He had the man thrown into prison until he could pay the debt. When the other servants saw what had happened, they were outraged and went and told their master everything that had happened. And then the master called the servant in. Listen to what he says to him. You wicked servant. I canceled all the debt of yours because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I have on you? In anger, his master handed him over to the jailers to be tortured until he should pay back all that he owed. Look at verse 35. This is how your heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother or sister. And then Jesus adds this, from the heart. From the heart. So the point of this whole story is really found in verse 33. We talk about mercy and we talk about forgiveness. Look at verse 33. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant just as I had on you? And so here's one of our takeaways today. If you don't take anything else away today, then take this away. Since I've been shown mercy, I will show mercy. Since I have been shown mercy, I will show mercy. How can I forgive this person who's wronged me? Because I've wronged God and God has forgiven me.